Your Filipino parents want you to take nursing, but you don't want to. You also have not decided. What should you do? This is Tessie. I'm not a school counselor or a career counselor. I'm just here to give my opinion. This has two issues. One, parents telling you what to do with your future. And number two, not knowing on your part what to take in college. Well, you're not alone. According to surveys, around 20 to 50% of high school students go into college without really knowing what they're going to be taking. And 75% change their major once before graduation. So your nanay, your mother will probably say, "Anak, kung hindi mo pa alam kung anong kukunin mo, mag-nursing ka na. Tignan mo yung pinsan mo na nurse. Malaki ang sweldo sa ospital at nagpapadala ng pera sa Pilipinas." And you say, "Nanay, ayoko ng nursing. Ayoko magtrabaho sa ospital." And then your mother says, ano ang gusto mong gawin? What will you do? You have not decided. I have a similar story. The only difference, which is a big difference, is I was never told by my parents what to take. My mother just told me, just take something that you're interested in and that you can get a job. Two conditions. That's it. More than 5 decades ago, I graduated from high school at the age of 16. Of course, at 16, you really have no clue what you're going to be doing in your life. I went to a private all-girls school. It was affordable. And I told just the registrar, I said, I don't know what I'm going to take. And she said, "Why don't you take liberal arts if you have not decided?" And I looked at the subjects of liberal arts, as they say, and I said, looks like these are almost the same subjects that I just took in high school. It's like an extension of high school. I don't think I want to do that. She said, "Well, business probably?" I said, business. Okay. There were 4 majors. There's accounting, management major. There's banking and finance, and marketing. Now, the marketing was still new at that time. But almost sure that you're going to get a job in accounting because we always need accountants. Bobo po ako sa math. Paano ako papasa? Lalagpak ako lahat ng accounting subjects. Management, walang company yung parents ko. Paano ako maging manager kung wala akong ima-manage? Marketing or banking and finance? Can you picture yourself working in a bank? I always liked the uniform of the tellers. I can picture myself working in a bank. I'd love to wear those uniforms. And that's how I decided banking and finance. You know, I was not excited with any of the subjects, but I have to have something. I have to have a college degree. I started joining clubs, the community service club and advertising club. I joined the school newsletter, and I actually enjoyed writing. I kind of like it, but I don't know if I can make money in writing. I just continued with my extracurricular activities. It made my life in college more enjoyable. I like telling stories. or script writing. And every time I watch a TV show, I would start analyzing the story. One day, I was in the cafeteria and I saw the professor. I can't forget him. His name is Ray Pedroche. He was a well-known radio announcer. He was teaching script writing, and he was alone in the cafeteria and asked if I could, talk to him. I said, "Is it okay if I can sit in your class?" And he said, "Sure, but maybe 2 sessions would do." And that first day when I was listening how he explained about script writing, for the first time in my life, I was so happy, as if I knew that I belonged to this field, script writing. But it was the last semester of my college years, and there was no way that I could change my major. After that, I told my parents, after I graduated, I said, I'm going to work, but I also want to take master's in communication arts, major in television and radio production. One of my subjects was script writing. Fast forward, I was able to get a job as a scriptwriter. My major in banking and finance was not really put to use. I wound up landing in advertising jobs and then television as scriptwriter, and then almost all the other jobs I had demanded some writing skills. What I realized was that I already had the skills to get the job done as scriptwriter, even if it was not my field. It's a good idea to join organizations or develop other skills that you're truly interested in. Going back to our discussion, what are you going to do? What are you going to take? Since you are already in your 4th year of high school, it's probably good. You're not in college yet, and you're sure that you don't really like nursing. So number 1, I would do soul searching. Know yourself. And you might say, of course I know myself. Basic. What are your favorite subjects? Language arts, math and science. If it's math and science, then maybe you can start researching what are the jobs that will require math and science subjects that you can tackle very easily. So that's one. And you can also look at your ACT results, the American College Test, which has a career possibility list. I know this is silly, but what are your favorite shows? Do you like shows that are science fiction or CSI, crime scene investigation? What are your hobbies? Do you like to build airplanes? I met an elementary student who knew about airplanes. He was telling me about the cockpits and, the parts of the airplane. And he said, I really love to fly. And I said, well, maybe you could be a pilot in the future. And he just smiled. But imagine that. He's only, I think he might have been just 11 years old. And already he had an idea of what he wanted to do. In the States, the website of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, bls.gov, because it'll tell you what are the jobs that are open, and sometimes they have projections. If you have limited funds, if your parents have limited funds, You also have to consider the cost. If you want to take psychology, you cannot really work as a psychologist after a 4-year degree in psychology. You have to master something. Human resources or counseling. And so that means additional years of study, additional money, maybe additional student loans, and can you get scholarships? Take advantage of the career counselors in your high school. They are there to help you. Talk to your teachers. If you want to go into chemistry, talk to your chemistry teacher. To the parents, pay close attention to your child, not wait until he's in 4th year high school when you say, you should be taking nursing, without really knowing what your child wants. Have an early discussion. Try to be supportive without telling your child that you should take this because it'll pay the most money. In fact, I realized that when you're talking to teenagers, I try to avoid using should. This is what you should do. I would usually say to my daughter, do you think, blah, blah, blah? Have you considered this? I try to avoid the word should. This is what you should do. You also have to tell your child to be practical. There's a college student who really loves poetry. That's her whole life, poetry. And if I were the mom, I would probably say, okay, you're interested in poetry, that's well and good, but can you realistically get a job being a poet? You can be a lyricist. You have to do your research. Then maybe you can have that as your minor, but take something that will get you a job. Do not keep pushing your child, especially if your child is brilliant. It's very stressful to meet expectations almost all the time. Because there was a Filipino student, and he was very good in math and science. After 2 years in college, he just dropped out. And he told his mom, Mom, you have been telling me always, you have to be the best, you have to be the best, you have to be on top of the class because you're brilliant. If you keep harping on this all the time, you could actually discourage your child. He just told his mom, I'm dropping out after 2 years. I'm going to work as a driver for whatever, Federal Express or I think UPS. And I don't want to be pressured. I'm just going to relax. And that's it. That was the end of the conversation. As parents, we can only suggest, but let your child find her way because it is her life, her future. Maraming salamat.